Version girl, oh you come and you go like the morning sun. Version girl.
It's freedom from human chains, the chains of your humanity. Before I be a slave, yeah, yeah. I skip over my grave and go home to my father and be free. I go home to my father and be free. No more crying. Where Toots got his inspiration. No more crying. The sort of gospel R&B thing. I love it. Over me. When I play it out, it smashes the blues. Before I be a slave, yeah. I sleep over my grave. Some blue beat, which is the original English version of Jamaican R&B. The tune's called Freedom by Clancy Eggles. It's very early R&B, which was the music that preceded ska. You think it's freedom in that it's a black liberation tune, but it's not. It's a gospel, spiritual, religious thing, and he's talking about being free when he gets to heaven. That's when he'll be free. And at first, you know, you think, oh, he's talking in a sort of Black Panther type way or whatever. But he's not at all. He's talking in a very spiritual, deep way about the human condition and being free of the human condition. As well, it's got a great rhythm, and the musicians all know what they're doing. It's a very nicely syncopated thing, and people will dance to it, and subconsciously they'll listen to it. It's a great tune to play to people because it's got a real message, and it's really deep music. It's a spiritual gospel dimension of it that's really interesting. And really still connects with people. It's called Jungle Signal. Gotta love it. Listen. Controls Orchestra. That's Mikey, the original Mikey Dread. Mikey Dread, who from Jamaica, who had a radio show called Dread at the Controls, and is a very good engineer. The thing about Mikey Dread is he's real studio buffing, and all of the stuff that he produced. He died recently, actually. He died about 5 years ago. Is really well produced. And the reason why I'm playing this, in fact, is he's working with Rico Rodriguez and Tantan, who are the best brass section in the history of reggae music, essentially. So you got a deep, heavy Mikey Dread rhythm, plus this fantastic brass. A combination, it's like the real weight of the rhythm, beautifully produced, a real heavy bass, and this really light, beautiful, inspiring brass section. This is Natty Dread Now, run by Barry Brown. Barry Brown, I love to listen to Barry Brown because Barry Brown is just so out there. It's like you don't actually know if he's in tune. He just sings straight from his heart, and he's singing it so obviously a feeling that it's great art. I think Barry Brown was him and Freddie Mackay are my two favorite, maybe Toots as well in reality. Are my favorite reggae singers. Barry Brown though. Bit like Nina Simone, he just got this voice that isn't like anybody else's voice, and he sings with complete conviction and a total lack of respect for any sort of rules of singing.
Them a come, that DJ Black swing around. Never.
Very natural thing.
Them a come, that DJ Black swing around. Oh no. Them a come with them life, them a come with them all. Them a come with the ratchet and the knife. And them a. Say
subject matter of this one's Natty Dread Now Run, which is quite close to me because I live in South London for years and hang around with dreadlocks, and I saw a lot of arguments between dreadlocks and, for example, the police. And dreadlocks don't run. It's true. Like, they're not scared of the police, and they would just stay there and find their corner and just get arrested in the end. And for me personally, it's a real thing. Natty Dread Now Runs. It's a perfect record. It's produced by Linval Thompson and his label Strong Like Samson, and they made some of the best cut and produced dub music. The dub on this is outrageously good, and Barry sings it with fantastic heart. Barry unfortunately died in the late 80s. He had substance issues and he died basically, but this is a fantastic record, one of the best records ever made, I think, in terms of it. As I say, it's perfect. You know, the cut of a record is really important, and the way it's pressed. And this is pressed in a Jamaican style. Jamaican pressings have a slightly different sound to English pressings and American pressings, and this is the very best kind of Jamaican pressing. It crackles a bit, and that says a lot about me because I don't really look after my records all that well, because it was clean when I got it. But it's, like I say, and then the subject matter again, Natty Dread Now Run, that which is true. Proper dreadlocks do a run. I'm going to do a new one now. I'm very into this. It's J Star actually. He makes all sorts of, he used to make mashups, but I think he's done a great tune here. It's called Rastafarian, and it's anthemic. It's brand new reggae. It's a real anthem. It's got an anthemic feel whenever you play it. It's called Holy Rastafari.
Hey, alright, it's obvious enough now to sense. But my hypocrites, me see them through me lens. Conditioned by decision, living under false pretense. You see, say no fire, they're on the wrong side of the fence. I'm gonna put me trust in Babylon intelligence. I worry of my life and I must say me confidence.
So it's a spiritual thing. The singer's talking, it's a bit of a prayer, but the rhythm is a sort of deep, dark thing, and he's singing this prayer on top of this almost threatening rhythm. It adds a different feel to it. The rhythm is sort of quite heavy and, like I say, fast and danceable, but a bit of a threat too. It's got threatening chords. Why it starts to work is because the singer is reflecting the power of Jah. It's called Holy Rastafari, and there's this threatening rhythm, and you have to remember, and certainly in Jamaican eyes, Jah's quite an Old Testament sort of figure, and he'll whip you or whatever, believe in retribution and judgment, and so that's why it sort of works really. It's called Bad Man Come and Bad Man Go, and I like that sentiment. People who behave badly, in my opinion, will just come and go. They won't last. I think if you behave badly in your life, then you sort of put a limit on yourself in some way, in my opinion, and in Rod Taylor's opinion also, who sings this tune. Like I say, he says, bad man come and bad man go. Don't worry about them too much. They're in your life and they're behaving badly, but they won't be there that long because their karma's, he doesn't say that, in my opinion, their karma's so bad that it'll mess them up.
Bad man come, bad man go. Your heart has been tied to come and go. There are bad times and there are good times.
So it's sort of comforting thought, and I found it to be true as well. When people appear and do your badness, you just sit and wait them out. They disappear, and that's what Taylor thinks too. Bad man. He sings it beautifully. He obviously believes it. The rhythm's from sort of golden age of reggae, so it's proper reggae by musicians, and it's got a point in a direction. I mean, I don't know any other song that says that. Bad man come and bad man go, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry if they're in your life because they won't stay long. It's an important point to make, I think. Take this up and talk again because I mean the keyboards are out of key, but I love the fact that the keyboards are out of key. I think it works perfectly. The keyboards, I mean that reflects the nature of love really, and it's quite often off key, in key and out of key. Listen to the keyboards at the start. Him and Barry Brown are the singers you might not have heard of, who I think are particularly fantastic. Freddie Mackay sings a bit like Barry Brown in a natural, untutored way. He just expresses himself. He doesn't really sound like anybody else. He's got his own style of singing, but he's particularly plain nerve. Does a lot of love stuff. He does some root stuff, but he does a lot of love stuff. But his love stuff about romantic relationships is very interesting. It's very different. And, this one's called Sweet You, Sour You, and it's just about the joys of love. There's two sides to love, ultimately, which people constantly are interested in and constantly feel, and affects everybody's life. And that there's whatever your extreme emotions can go either way. You know, the misery can almost match the pleasure and happiness, and he sings about it really, really beautifully. And I think I get the feeling while he's singing, actually, he's just saying anything. He's got that sweet and sour line in it, but after that, it doesn't actually make much sense, really. But he's winging it in a way that has worked. Sometimes that'll work, and sometimes it won't work. This is Freddie Mackay, who's a fantastic singer. You might not have heard of him, but his records, as I said, on vinyl records, his records can go for £1,000 easily, and that's because he's super great. I'm going to play another new one. This is called Roughneck Soldier by Sandino, and for me it sort of emphasises the random way music comes to you. I was around the record distributors, and a kid that worked in the office, this is his record, and he made it and he gave it to me, and I really like it. I don't really know much about it except that I like it. I know the singer though, and I know a certain thing about it. It's called Roughneck Soldier, and it's by Sandino. And Sandino is a South London person who I've known for years and who is a roughneck soldier. He's not making it up. He's not like Duran Duran singing Wild Boys. He is a roughneck soldier. Very energetic. Very modern. As I said, these records just float their way in your life, and you start to feel them, and that's it, you know. And I really think that he's made a really good rhythm here. Because I like the thing, reggae is a living thing, a thing that's still developing. All right, there's some great old records, but there's great new records coming. Reggae never stops. Yeah, you can't get good funk now, You can get good reggae now. You know what I'm saying? Even disco. Disco came and went. There was some great disco records, but there's not now. But reggae just keeps growing like a tree. This one's sort of why I love records. I love playing records. It's not why I love records. It's one of the things I like about playing records, because this is a very, very, very famous tune, and it was on a lot of. It's on almost everybody who knows reggae. It's as famous as the Bob Marley tunes. The great Toots, who's another of my favourite singers, has got a beautiful gospel voice, sings right from his heart. Went to jail for possession of weed, and got the number 5446. And as he says in the tune, he's out of jail now, but now somebody else has got that number. I love it that he says that. But this is the original pressing. It's the pre-release, the basically test copy of the first pressing. It's slightly different to all they modified it later for Europe. This has got a slightly more rock steady feel. It's the very first one, and it's the people who heard this physical piece record in front of you were the first people in the world to hear this tune. This is the pre-release of 5446. So, as I say, this physical thing, when it was played on a deck in Jamaica, that was the first that people heard this iconic tune that would spread all over the world. And it's a great tune anyway, and Toots sings it with great heart. And it's got a special sound as well. I think the first of any, in my opinion, the first has a special resonance. The first has a special energy about it. It's very direct. I don't know. The magic they had in the studio is contained. Seems to be contained in the first release better. As I say, it's got a rock steady feel more than the later ones. It's slightly different vocal as well. Actually, he must have re-sung the vocal, because this isn't exactly the same as the vocal the versions you've probably heard. He's got his whole heart into it. He just come out of jail. He sang this about being in jail, and I love it that he says 5446 was my number, right now somebody else has got that number. That's a very reggae thing to say. This one's by Richie Spice, who to my mind is the best writer and singer in the last 20 years in reggae music. He's really, really, really inspiring. There's something about the way he sings and what he says really lifts your heart. He lifts your heart, and that's particularly true on this tune. It's just powerful. When I play it now, it'll lift me again. Every single time I hear it, it lifts me. It's called Blood Again, and he sings so quick. I'm not really sure what he's on about, but I presume he's talking about the violence in life in Jamaica, and the way that you have to lift your. But it's his tone and the writing. I mean, line for line. He sings so fast it's hard to follow it sometimes. But for whatever, maybe that leaves room for your imagination, because it's just so inspiring and it lifts me. You know, you feel a connection to a greater thing when you hear it. Richie Spice is massively underrated, a huge talent. This is a German-produced tune, but he sung it. Richie Spicer's a Jamaican. He sung it the way he sung it. The whole thing's come together so beautifully, and I would think this is just about my favourite record made in the last 20 years, and I've never got tired of it. Never got. As I say, I've played it and played it and played it. I love playing it to people. I feel brave and inspired, which is what the best music should do for me. I mean, you feel brave and strengthened, sort of fed with courage, and that music does that for me. Every time I hear it, it never stops. And that is the strength of reggae music ultimately, and it can do it for you. It can do it. It can make you braver, it can make you better in your life, it can make you stronger and more able to face up to the various challenges that life will present you with, because life can be a struggle, it can be uphill and downhill, but the braver you are, the better off you'll be in the long run, and reggae can give you courage, spiritual courage, to be yourself. To be yourself, that's a key to reggae. To be yourself, not to go along with a herd, to be the individual that you are. Reggae can give you courage to do that. That's it.